Did you know there are African countries whose citizens can enter Canada without a visa? That's right. While most travelers need to go through long and costly visa processes, you might already be on the lucky list. So, are you among the chosen ones? Stick around, because today we're counting down the 10 African countries whose citizens enjoy visa-free or simplified entry to Canada, and you don't want to miss this. Canada, known for its world-class education, beautiful landscapes, and high quality of life, is a dream destination for many. But gaining entry isn't always easy unless you're from one of these special African nations. Now, let's get one thing clear. Canada doesn't offer full visa-free access to any African country yet. But certain African countries benefit from visa exemptions through Canadian ETA, electronic travel authorization, diplomatic agreements, or simplified pathways like permanent residency or refugee acceptance programs. Number 10. Mauritius is one of the few African countries whose citizens benefit from simplified travel to Canada, making it a notable entry on this list. Although not fully visa-free, Mauritian passport holders can apply for an ETA, electronic travel authorization, if they have held a Canadian or US visa in the past 10 years. This allows for short visits to Canada for tourism, business, or transit without needing a full visa. Canada and Mauritius enjoy strong diplomatic ties as both are part of the Commonwealth of Nations. The English and French language proficiency in Mauritius makes integration into Canadian society smoother. Over the years, the number of Mauritian students and professionals in Canada has steadily increased. Canadian universities have established special programs to attract students from Mauritius due to their high academic performance and language abilities. In terms of trade and cultural exchange, Canada sees Mauritius as a stable and low-risk partner. The Mauritian diaspora in Canada is growing, especially in provinces like Ontario and Quebec. Many Mauritians are drawn to Canada's high-quality education and healthcare system. Canada has also invested in tourism and technology partnerships with Mauritius. These bilateral relations have led to more trust between the two nations. Business travelers from Mauritius also find it easier to gain access due to Canada's Trusted Traveller program. With stable governance and strong democratic values, Mauritius is seen as a valuable ally. For Mauritians, traveling to Canada is not only a dream but a feasible opportunity backed by policy and trust. Number 9. Seychelles, a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, enjoys one of Africa's strongest passports and has established friendly diplomatic ties with Canada over the years. Citizens of Seychelles are eligible for simplified entry through Canada's ETA program, provided they have previously held a valid Canadian or US visa within the past 10 years. This allows for short visits without the need for a traditional visa, making travel for tourism and business more accessible. As a member of the Commonwealth, Seychelles benefits from historical and political connections with Canada. English is one of the official languages of Seychelles, which eases communication and integration in Canadian society. The Seychellois population in Canada is relatively small but steadily growing, especially in urban areas like Toronto and Ottawa. Canada views Seychelles as a low-risk nation with high development potential, which supports easier travel access. Canadian institutions are increasingly opening scholarship opportunities for Seychellois students. In terms of environmental diplomacy, both countries collaborate on ocean conservation and climate initiatives. This collaboration further strengthens their bilateral relationship. Business and tourism ties have improved, with many Seychellois exploring Canada's opportunities for growth. The trust between the governments has led to a smoother visa process compared to many other nations. Canadian immigration programs often favor applicants from stable and peaceful nations like Seychelles. With ongoing talks about deeper trade and educational partnerships, access may become even easier in the future. For Seychellois travelers, Canada offers a gateway to world-class education, healthcare, and a multicultural lifestyle. All these factors combine to make Seychelles a standout on this list of African countries benefiting from visa-free or simplified entry to Canada. Number 8. Senegal holds a unique position among African nations due to its strong diplomatic relationship with Canada and its consistent political stability. While Senegalese citizens are not fully visa-exempt, those who have held a Canadian or US visa in the last 10 years may qualify for Canada's ETA system, easing short-term visits. Senegal is a French-speaking country, which gives its citizens an advantage in Canada's bilingual regions, especially in Quebec. Educational ties between Senegal and Canada are expanding, with many Senegalese students enrolling in Canadian universities through scholarship programs. The Senegalese diaspora in Canada is well established, particularly in Montreal, where cultural and linguistic similarities foster integration. Canada views Senegal as a key partner in West Africa, engaging in development, security, and climate initiatives. In recent years, travel between the two countries has grown due to business and educational exchange programs. Senegalese professionals in healthcare, technology, and academia are increasingly welcomed in Canadian immigration streams. Canada's global skills strategy has enabled faster processing for skilled Senegalese workers in specific fields. Canadian embassies in West Africa often highlight Senegal as a model for cooperation and safe migration. Canada also funds several NGO-led development projects in Senegal, further reinforcing diplomatic trust. The strong cultural identity of Senegalese migrants enriches Canada's multicultural society. Both nations share a commitment to democratic governance and human rights, laying the foundation for future visa policy evolution. Travelers from Senegal often report smoother visa interview processes due to the country's favorable reputation. Although not entirely visa-free, Senegal's position is strengthened by trust, education, and opportunity. This makes it one of the top African countries benefiting from easier access to Canada. Number 7. Ghana is one of the most influential West African nations and maintains a strong and growing relationship with Canada across multiple sectors. While Ghanaian citizens still require a visa to enter Canada, many benefit from expedited processes and easier approvals if they've previously held a Canadian or US visa. Canada recognizes Ghana as a stable democracy with an impressive track record in education, governance, and economic growth. The Ghanaian community in Canada is among the largest African diasporas, primarily concentrated in Toronto, Ottawa, and Calgary. This strong presence contributes to cultural, business, and academic exchange between the two nations. Ghana's official language is English, which facilitates seamless integration into Canadian society. Every year, thousands of Ghanaian students apply to Canadian colleges and universities, often receiving scholarships and postgraduate work permits. Canada's immigration policies favor skilled workers, and many Ghanaians meet the criteria for fast-track programs. The Canada-Ghana Free Trade Dialogue and Development Cooperation strengthen bilateral trust. Ghana is also a priority country in Canada's international assistance programs, which often translates into simplified visa access for specific travelers. In 2022 alone, over 9,000 Ghanaians legally entered Canada for education, work, and tourism. The Canadian High Commission in Accra actively promotes educational opportunities, easing the visa journey for students. Canada appreciates Ghana's contributions to peacekeeping missions, aligning values on security and diplomacy. The warm diplomatic relations help Ghana maintain a positive image within Canadian immigration frameworks. While not visa-free, Ghana enjoys several privileges that make travel to Canada smoother compared to many other African nations. As economic and academic ties deepen, Ghana's citizens continue to benefit from Canada's expanding global vision. Number 6. Tanzania has emerged as a trusted partner for Canada in East Africa, thanks to its peaceful governance and growing economic stability. Although Tanzanian citizens still require a visa to enter Canada, they are often eligible for streamlined visa processes if they meet criteria like previous Canadian or US travel history. English and Swahili are widely spoken, but Tanzania's colonial ties and Commonwealth membership help maintain favorable diplomatic relations with Canada. Over the past decade, Canadian universities have seen an increase in Tanzanian student applications, especially in health sciences, engineering, and agriculture. The diaspora community of Tanzanians in Canada is growing, particularly in cities like Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Vancouver. Canadian nonprofits and educational institutions often collaborate with Tanzanian organizations, promoting development, leadership, and environmental conservation. Canada's international aid initiatives in Tanzania also contribute to increased visa approvals due to trusted partnerships. Skilled Tanzanians, especially in healthcare and tech, are welcomed through Canada's express entry and provincial nominee programs. Tanzanian tourists and business delegates are viewed positively, with low visa refusal rates compared to other African nations. Canada values Tanzania's contribution to regional stability and sustainable development. Bilateral trade in minerals, tourism, and agricultural products further strengthens ties. The Canadian High Commission in Nairobi oversees Tanzania-related visa matters and has a reputation for fair processing. Tanzanian students benefit from post-study work opportunities under Canada's supportive immigration pathways. Tanzania's role in peacekeeping and climate diplomacy also aligns with Canadian values. While not visa-exempt, Tanzanians benefit from their nation's image as peaceful, stable, and forward-looking. This status makes Canada more accessible than ever before for Tanzanian citizens. Number 5. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, plays a vital role in Canada's immigration and international student sectors. Although Nigerian citizens still require a visa to enter Canada, the volume of accepted applicants grows every year, particularly in education and skilled migration categories. English being the official language gives Nigerians a distinct edge in adapting to Canadian society. Canada has become one of the top study abroad destinations for Nigerians, with over 21,000 Nigerian students enrolled in Canadian institutions in 2023 alone. The Nigerian diaspora in Canada is among the most vibrant and educated African communities, mainly concentrated in Ontario and Alberta. Canadian employers actively seek Nigerian professionals in sectors like IT, engineering, healthcare, and finance. Despite bureaucratic challenges, many Nigerians qualify for fast-track immigration programs like Express Entry and the Startup Visa program. Canada appreciates Nigeria's cultural, economic, and diplomatic importance and supports it through trade missions and education fairs. Nigerian travel influencers and scholars regularly share their successful experiences navigating the Canadian immigration system. Canada and Nigeria engage in joint peacekeeping, climate policy, and business initiatives, enhancing mutual trust. Although visa application volumes are high, approval rates have improved in recent years due to policy adjustments and public pressure. Canada often highlights Nigeria as a key strategic partner in sub-Saharan Africa. The Canadian Embassy in Abuja works with NGOs and schools to promote accurate visa guidance. Nigeria's elite passport holders and diplomats experience faster, more favorable visa processing timelines. Nigerian youth seeking global opportunities find Canada welcoming, especially with post-graduation work permits. Though not visa-free, Nigeria's significant influence earns it a powerful place on this list of African nations benefiting from Canada's immigration openness. Number 4. Zambia stands out for its peaceful democracy, English-speaking population, and its history of diplomatic harmony with Canada. Although Zambians still require a visa to enter Canada, those with prior Canadian or U.S. visas may be eligible for ETA in limited cases, simplifying the process. The Zambian community in Canada, though small, is growing steadily with strong representation in Alberta and Ontario. Many Zambian students and professionals pursue opportunities in Canadian universities and work sectors like nursing, teaching, and construction. Canada regards Zambia as a low-risk country for overstays and violations, which helps applicants during visa assessments. As a fellow Commonwealth nation, Zambia enjoys favorable treatment in diplomatic exchanges and academic partnerships. Canadian development aid programs often prioritize Zambia in areas such as clean water, education, and agriculture. This international cooperation has opened more doors for students, scholars, and workers from Zambia. Canadian colleges run direct outreach programs in Lusaka and other urban centers to recruit Zambian talent. In terms of values, Zambia's commitment to peace, democratic governance, and human rights resonates well with Canadian foreign policy goals. The Zambian High Commission in Ottawa plays an active role in supporting diaspora members and facilitating bilateral discussions. Zambia's peaceful reputation contributes to high acceptance rates for family reunification and work permit visas. Canadian companies in the mining and energy sectors also engage with Zambia, strengthening business links. Zambians benefit from post-study work opportunities and eventual pathways to permanent residency. Although not yet visa-exempt, Zambia's steady diplomatic and educational relations make travel to Canada increasingly accessible for its citizens. Number 3. Kenya is one of East Africa's most influential countries and maintains a strong diplomatic and economic relationship with Canada. Kenyan citizens are not visa-free, but many benefit from faster visa processing and ETA eligibility if they've held a US or Canadian visa within the last decade. English and Swahili are both national languages, with English fluency offering an advantage in Canadian institutions and job markets. The Kenyan diaspora in Canada is well-rooted and continues to grow, particularly in cities like Toronto, Calgary, and Winnipeg. Canada is a top destination for Kenyan students, with thousands enrolling each year in universities, colleges, and technical institutes. Skilled Kenyans in fields like medicine, engineering, and finance frequently qualify for Canada's Express Entry or provincial nomination programs. Kenyan-Canadian organizations often collaborate to host cultural festivals and mentorship initiatives that ease integration. Canada appreciates Kenya's role in peacekeeping, environmental protection, and regional stability. Development programs funded by Canada in Kenya often provide scholarships and leadership opportunities for young Kenyans. Bilateral trade in tea, coffee, and tech services is also expanding, reinforcing economic ties. The Canadian High Commission in Nairobi offers streamlined services and educational support for Kenyan applicants. Canada frequently acknowledges Kenya's contributions to global diplomacy and peace efforts. Kenya's youth population, high education levels, and entrepreneurial mindset align with Canada's immigration priorities. Family reunification policies also support Kenyan citizens who already have relatives in Canada. While still requiring a visa, Kenya citizens enjoy one of the smoothest African travel experiences to Canada. As relationships deepen, visa policies may continue to evolve in Kenya's favor. Number 2. Uganda holds a special place in Canada's international relations due to shared Commonwealth membership, humanitarian collaboration, and educational outreach. Although Ugandan citizens require visas to enter Canada, many enjoy favorable approval rates due to Uganda's reputation for peace and diplomacy. Uganda has sent thousands of students to Canadian universities, particularly in health sciences, law, and IT fields. English being one of the official languages makes Ugandans attractive candidates for Canadian academic and immigration systems. The Ugandan diaspora is steadily growing in cities like Edmonton and Saskatoon, supported by strong community networks. Canada recognizes Uganda's contribution to peacekeeping and its role as a host country for refugees, aligning with Canadian humanitarian values. Canadian NGOs and religious organizations have strong roots in Uganda, fostering decades-long relationships. These ties translate into smoother student visa processing and increased sponsorship opportunities. Ugandan nurses and healthcare professionals often qualify for Canada's skilled worker programs. Educational consultants and Canadian embassies hold regular seminars in Kampala to promote study and work in Canada. Ugandan artists and academics have gained recognition in Canada's cultural landscape, further promoting cross-cultural trust. Canada has supported Uganda in projects involving clean energy, agriculture, and women's education. Canadian schools often waive certain requirements for top-performing Ugandan students due to mutual recognition. Many Ugandans also qualify for post-study work permits, offering a pathway to permanent residency. Though a visa is still required, Uganda's citizens benefit from a deeply rooted and multi-layered connection with Canada. These strong ties make Uganda one of the top African countries with improved access to Canadian travel and immigration. Number 1. South Africa ranks at the top of this list thanks to its advanced passport, strong diplomatic presence, and broad-based ties with Canada. Although South African citizens still require a visa, many benefit from simplified processing, and talks of ETA eligibility have been ongoing between both nations. English is one of the primary languages in South Africa, allowing travelers and migrants to adjust quickly to Canadian life. South African professionals are in high demand across Canadian sectors such as healthcare, IT, engineering, and education. Over 25,000 South Africans currently reside in Canada, with major communities in Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia. Canada is also a preferred destination for South African students, many of whom pursue postgraduate degrees and eventually apply for permanent residency. The two countries share values around democracy, inclusion, and innovation, strengthening their long-standing partnership. Canadian businesses frequently collaborate with South African firms in mining, technology, and agriculture. Canada's High Commission in Pretoria facilitates a variety of cultural exchange programs and visa initiatives. South Africa's global influence and economic stability make its citizens more likely to succeed in Canadian visa applications. The Canadian government views South Africa as a priority partner in Africa and often extends diplomatic and trade-based courtesies. South Africans often qualify for expedited immigration programs, including those targeting entrepreneurs and skilled workers. Tourist and business visas are commonly approved when applicants show strong ties and travel history. Many South African Canadians contribute significantly to academia, research, and public health. While full visa exemption is not yet in place, South Africa's elevated status makes travel and migration to Canada more attainable than ever. Canada may not be visa-free for all African countries, but if your nation is on this list, you've got a massive head start. Whether it's through ETA eligibility, Commonwealth relations, or diplomatic trust, these countries are shaping the future of global mobility. So if you're planning a trip, studying abroad, or exploring a new life in Canada, it might be time to take the next step. Did your country make the list? Comment below and let us know.